Welcome to the Introduction to Helga training module from B&W Group Training. The purpose of this module is to ensure that you have a better understanding of the B&W Customer Relations Management System and are well equipped to use it in your day-to-day operations in the dealership. So let's first look at the terminology used within Helga. A contact is simply a record that contains personal contact information for a particular person or business. A customer, a person or business who have either purchased or serviced a vehicle, and sometimes even both, within the dealership. And a prospect, a person or business or existing customers who are interested in purchasing a new vehicle from the dealership. An opportunity is your chance to sell a vehicle to these people, therefore turning a contact into a prospect. Helga is structured on achieving key milestones throughout the sales process, and these milestones are: initial contact, where the salesperson has actually spoken to the customer or received an email or text message response. Qualified, when the needs of the customers are clearly identified and they are now considered a definite sales opportunity. Appointment, when a physical meeting has been held with the customer to discuss that sales opportunity. Test drive, where a customer has taken the vehicle for a test drive. Appraisal, where the customer has had their trade-in vehicle appraised and valued by the dealership. Offer and negotiation, specific pricing discussed with the customer. Sale, customer is committed to buying a vehicle and the sales contract has been signed by the customer and the dealership. Introduction to aftermarket, the customer has been introduced to the aftermarket consultant to discuss aftercare products. Introduction to F&I, the customer has been introduced to the business manager to discuss finance and insurance needs. And delivery, customer has taken the delivery of their new vehicle. In order to achieve milestones, we need to be having interactions with the customer. Activities is the area in Helga where we schedule and record those interactions. There are two types of activities. An activity linked to achieving a milestone is known as an associated activity. For example, a follow-up phone call after a customer has taken a test drive. There are also activities that are not associated with any milestones, and these are scheduled and recorded as unassociated activities. For example, a call to say happy birthday. Lead sources are how and where the opportunity originated from. You may also hear within the dealership the term DMS. This stands for Dealer Management System, and is the system used by the dealership to prepare and process quotes and sales contracts. Now we have explained the key terminology used within the system, let's take a look at Helga. Your IT department would have set up Helga as a link or favorite and would have completed the diagnostic tests. If you don't have this link, simply type bmwcrm.vitalsoftware.net into the address bar. Your organization ID, username and password should have been sent to you throughout your induction. But if you're unsure of your login details, speak with your IT department, CRM manager, or sales manager. Ticking Remember Me will ensure that your details are remembered the next time you log in. If you're having any problems running Helga, the quick test diagnostics at the bottom of the screen will ensure that Helga has been set up correctly and is running at the most optimum level. In cases where you're still having other issues, the Helga Help Desk details are here as well. The dashboard provides a summary of your month-to-date sales performance and is the default screen when you first log in. Upon login, the content pane shows the real-time view of graphs and charts of business performance. This includes the salesperson activity month to date, milestones month to date, as well as the opportunities by lead source graph. The components you'll be using on a daily basis in Helga can be found in the bottom of the screen in the menu navigation bar. This includes the Prospects and Customers module, Reporting module, Calendar module, and the CRM module Dealer Standards. In the bottom left-hand corner, you will find the Smart Search function, which allows you to perform a search for the entire Helga database. Consider this function your Google search within Helga. In the top left-hand corner of the page, the trail navigation or breadcrumb trail shows the route to the current page with easy access to past pages. Consider this your back button. Finally, in the top right-hand corner, the logout feature, which exits the system and closes the connection. So let's first start with the Contact Manager. At the bottom of the screen, click on Prospects and Customers, and then click Contact Manager. In its default view, Helga lists your scheduled daily activities and highlights any overdue activities that are outstanding. Any activities you have added or that are allocated to you for that day will appear on this screen. You can also change the date range and view any activities coming up by clicking on the drop-down box here. Contact Manager will default to the activities list and display overdue activities as well as present and future activities based on the user ID logged in. In the Contact Manager screen, you will notice the Add New Record tab. Clicking on this will bring up a separate window in which you can add all details of the relevant contact. To better understand this vital part of the process, let's start from the beginning and add a contact to the database. When inputting data into Helga, it's best to include as much information as possible. Not only does it make finding customers more efficient, it also ensures that future marketing is more effective for the dealership. As a rule, always add the customer's title to the dataset. If you are unsure of their marital status, rather than leave it blank, always default to Mr. for men and Ms. for women. Enter the first name of the customer, ensuring that you use a capital for the first letter. When typing the customer's last name, you will also notice a search function appears below. This is to ensure that duplicates are avoided in the system. So wait for the results to load, and if the last name does not appear in the results, move on to the contact details. This search function also checks all contact numbers and the email address field. So again, when inputting, before proceeding, check that the relevant details aren't already in the system. In this case, the contact is not in the system, so we can add the home address and move on. Searching city using the magnifying glass ensures that the data is correct for any mailouts and will automatically populate the state and postcode once the correct result is found. If the postal address is the same as the home address, simply click here, and once you are happy with the information, hit save. You will now be able to view and add information in the tabs to the right. The Summary tab shows a summary of all activity history. This includes purchase and service history and will automatically update with the relevant information. This tab will show any existing or previous vehicles, including BMW, Mini, or Motorrad, that the customer has purchased, as well as the initial contact date and number of known service records. It will also display the last 5 activities that have been rescheduled for the customer in the previous 90 days, and the last 5 opportunities that have been entered in the previous 90 days. The Additional tab allows extra information to be added for the customer, including license number, interests, and even children's names. The Opportunities and Activity tabs are the most important to ensure Helga is used effectively. So let's continue with this test product. In the Opportunities tab, click New Opportunity. You will now be able to input the details of the vehicle your customer is interested in. Use the drop-down boxes to select the make, series, model, generation, body type, and model description. You can also add additional information such as preferred lines or requested packages, colors, and even trims as you qualify your customer more. Now it's time to record your progress with this opportunity. Using the milestone drop-down, simply select which milestones have been achieved thus far. For instance, you have spoken to the customer, so initial contact can be ticked. You know he's looking for a 420D Coupe, so qualified can be ticked. As the customer didn't have time, you would like to schedule a follow-up phone call to set an appointment to view the car. As mentioned, milestones are central to the sales process, and reminders can be set to complete them by scheduling corresponding activities. To schedule an activity in this instant, click Schedule Activity next to Appointment. An activity detail window is displayed with the relevant activity type pre-populated. You can schedule the date and time of the milestone to be completed, and any other further information in the details section of the activity. Activities can also be set as tasks by clicking the Tasks checkbox at the top of the window. This means they will not be time specific and can be completed any time throughout the day. The bottom of the box also includes a reminder section, so you can be prepared in case of an appointment. To save the activity, click OK. Before moving on, you will notice the bottom right hand corner, in red, the word source. This is a mandatory field which must be filled out to ensure that we can move to the next window. Again, click on the drop-down box and select the relevant source. In this case, it was a phone call inquiry. The campaign field should also be used to capture how your customer heard about the dealership. You'll also notice a trade-in information section at the bottom of the opportunity window. This is a great place to capture any potential trade-in info that you may know at this stage of the sales process. Before moving on, remember to click Save. Click the Activities tab to view the activity associated with the milestone and opportunity. It is in this Activities tab that it is possible to schedule activities and tasks that are not linked to milestones or opportunities. The Vehicles tab shows a purchase and service history of your customer in a read-only view, and this data is populated from the dealer management systems. The Notes section is an area to capture or store information on the customer, and will ensure all relevant information is easily accessible for anyone in the dealership to refer to. This includes your notes on the customer, management comments, and even email communication. To add a note, simply click the plus symbol, input the subject by either typing or selecting from the drop-down box, and type away. There is no such thing as too much information. As mentioned, the contact record is the one-stop shop for reviewing all customer interactions with the dealership. The Documents tab is the area of Helga where we can store copies of documents such as test drive agreements, licenses, or even quotes. To add a document, simply click the plus symbol, browse for the document, and then click Save. It's that easy. Once everything has been inputted, remember to click Save. So now let's look at where that information has gone. Clicking Close will take you back to the Contact Manager. In the top left-hand corner, you will notice the term Current View with a drop-down box to the right of it. Clicking on the drop-down box and selecting Prospects will bring up all prospects currently in your database, including the one you just added. As a default, your prospects will be sorted by date with the most recently added at the top. By clicking on any of the column headings, Helga will sort your prospects in the corresponding ascending order. Clicking again will reverse that order. So let's look at the completion of an activity and how to link it to the milestone workflow. Helga has been designed to provide a workflow that links the completion of a scheduled activity to the completion of the associated milestone to scheduling the next activity or interaction with your customer. We'll take you through this workflow now. Managing your activities on a daily basis is best undertaken from the Contact Manager screen with the Activities view selected. Select the activity you wish to complete by clicking on the activity line. This will take you into the Activity tab within the contact record, highlighting the specific activity. On completion of the activity, tick the completed checkbox, which you can find at the bottom left of the activity window. This brings up the workflow dialog box, where you have two radial button options. The first is set the related milestone as complete. By selecting this radial button, Helga will mark the associated milestones as complete. It will leave the opportunity as ongoing unless you choose to mark the opportunity as won or lost by clicking on the drop-down box. In this instance, the opportunity is still ongoing, so we will accept the default. The Helga workflow then goes on to create a next activity, and Helga will link this to the next milestone in the sales process. You can change this to another milestone if required, by again clicking on the drop-down box and selecting the milestone you want. Click on OK to bring up the activity detail box. This is the same dialog box as shown previously. Complete the details of the activity you now wish to schedule with your customer. When the details are complete, click OK. And remember to add any relevant information into that detail that will assist you or others in the dealership with the next contact with the customer. Going back to the radial dialog box, the second option is to leave the related milestone as incomplete. This means that although you have completed the activity, you have not achieved the milestones. An example of this may be that you have scheduled a follow-up call to arrange a meeting. You have made the follow-up call, so you have marked the activity as complete. You now need to schedule a new activity to achieve the related milestone of an appointment. You also have the option here of leaving the opportunity as ongoing, or you can mark it as won or lost. Click on OK to bring up the activity detail box and complete the activity detail as previously indicated. With both workflow options, we've indicated that you can alter the status of the opportunity from ongoing to won or lost. Let's now have a look at what this means. When selecting the opportunity status as won, you can select the next milestone appropriate to your customer interaction. This will more than likely be introduction to aftermarket. By clicking on OK, Helga will take you to schedule your next activity. If you believe that the customer is not going to purchase, the process in Helga is to mark this customer as lost by selecting lost in the opportunity status. You must complete the lost reason by selecting from the drop-down list, and you now have the option to close out any remaining scheduled activities, as well as creating an unassociated follow-up activity. An example of this is where a customer has indicated they aren't in the market at this time, but will probably reassess in 12 months. An unassociated follow-up activity within that 12 months will ensure that the relationship you created is maintained. You will also notice the lost reason comments where you can free type additional information that will assist with understanding the status of this customer for any future interaction. Clicking on OK will update the contact record accordingly. So let's go back to the start. In the top left-hand corner, you'll notice the Home button. Click on this and it'll take you back to the dashboard. As mentioned, the dashboard shows 3 separate graphs, and each graph can be expanded to provide greater detail if necessary. For example, in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see the graph Opportunities by Lead Source. Here you can see all new opportunities that have been created and allocated to you that month. This includes ongoing, lost, and won leads. Scrolling over each column will give you the exact number. So in this case, we've had 1 AutoGate inquiry, 1 internet inquiry, 4 phone inquiries, and spoken to 4 walk-ins. Clicking on any of these columns will expand the graph, and clicking again will give you the breakdown of that list. From here you can easily access customer details, and this works for all graphs within the dashboard. Now let's move to reporting. As users of Helga, your main focus will be entering customer data, scheduling and completing activities, as well as marking off milestones along the sales process. However, you can equally benefit from the information gained from the reports produced in Helga. There are many reports in Helga, but we'll focus on 2 key reports at this stage. To navigate these reports, click on the reports icon in the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. Our first report is Opportunity Summary, which is found in the Opportunity tab. Click on Opportunity Summary to open this report. This report defaults to showing all prospects with an ongoing opportunity. It pictorially shows by the green ticks how far through the sales process we are with each prospect. It provides you with an opportunity to proof the status of each prospect and to update if milestones have not been correctly recorded at this stage. For those that require updating, click on the individual prospect and the customer contact record will open. Proceed with updating the record as previously shown. There are a number of filters which will allow you to alter this report. The second report is the Sales Performance Report. Use the report icons again in the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. Select Sales Performance and then go to the Sales Performance Report. As a recommendation, use this report at the end of each month to reconcile your Helga sales and delivery milestones with internal dealership sales logs and delivery logs. Ensure you have the date filters selected for the last completed month. Choose the radial button for milestone completed, and ensure that the comparison to national averages is not selected. Click on Refresh. The report will then populate with the dealership totals by franchise. By clicking on the plus sign besides the franchise name, you will then see your own data. From here, you can then drill down further by clicking on your name. The report will show you absolute numbers for each milestone as well as conversion ratios between the milestones. You can print this report by hitting the print button, which will allow you to take a hard copy of this report to your reviews with your manager. You also have a number of filters that you can utilize.